Is brown sugar just dyed white sugar? Have you ever looked at a spoonful of brown sugar and wondered, is this just white sugar in disguise, maybe dyed to look natural or raw? It's a surprisingly common question and one that actually sparks a lot of debate in kitchens, cafes, and even food forums online. So today we're digging deep into the story of brown sugar, how it's made, what sets it apart from white sugar, and whether it's really just white sugar that's been colored brown. Spoiler alert. The truth is both simpler and more fascinating than you might think. Let's get into it right here on History of Simple Things. What is brown sugar, really? First, let's start with the basics. Brown sugar is essentially sucrose, just like white sugar, but with molasses added or retained. That molasses is the key difference. It gives brown sugar its rich color, sticky texture, and distinct flavor that's, slightly deeper and more caramel-like than white sugar. But here's where things get interesting. Some brown sugar is made by retaining the natural molasses during the sugar refining process, while others, yes, are made by adding molasses back into already refined white sugar. This second method is especially common in large-scale commercial production. So, to answer the big question, yes, most brown sugar on grocery store shelves today is made by adding molasses to white sugar. But no, it's not just dyed. It's not food coloring, it's molasses, which is a real byproduct of sugar processing. Where sugar comes from. To really understand how brown sugar is made, we need to go back to the very beginning, the sugarcane or sugar beet field. Sugar starts its life inside these plants. Sugarcane, a tall bamboo-like grass, is crushed to extract a sweet juice. This juice contains water, sugar, and other plant materials. To turn this juice into sugar, it's boiled down and crystallized. During this boiling and refining process, molasses is naturally produced. It's the thick, dark syrup left behind after sugar crystals form and are separated out. Think of it like the leftovers from the sugar-making process, but leftovers that pack a lot of flavor and nutritional trace elements like calcium and iron. Now, depending on how much refining the sugar goes through and how much molasses is left or added, we get different types of sugar, including brown sugar. The two ways brown sugar is made. There are two main methods to make brown sugar. Let's break them down. Method 1, the natural way. In traditional methods, often used in small-scale or artisan production, sugar is only partially refined. This means some of the natural molasses stays in the sugar crystals. The result is a moist, flavorful sugar that's naturally brown. It's less common in commercial grocery stores, but still prized for its deeper, more complex flavor. Method 2, the modern commercial way. Most brown sugar today, especially in supermarkets, is made using refined white sugar. Manufacturers start with pure white, fully refined sugar and then add molasses back in during the final step. This gives producers better control over the color, moisture, and flavor intensity. There's nothing harmful or deceptive about this method. In fact, it's a very consistent and efficient way to produce the brown sugar we know and love. But it does mean that, yes, in many cases, brown sugar is just white sugar that has molasses reintroduced. Light versus dark brown sugar. So, you've probably noticed two kinds of brown sugar at the store, light brown and dark brown. The only difference between the two is the amount of molasses. Light brown sugar typically has about 3.5% molasses by weight, while dark brown sugar can contain up to 6.5% molasses. That means dark brown sugar has a richer flavor, more moisture, and a deeper color. Some recipes specifically call for one or the other. For example, dark brown sugar gives baked goods like gingerbread or barbecue sauces a bold molasses kick, while light brown sugar is more subtle, perfect for cookies and coffee. Is brown sugar healthier than white sugar? Now here's a common belief. Brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. Is it true? Technically, brown sugar contains slightly more minerals like calcium, potassium, and iron, all thanks to the molasses. But we're talking trace amounts, not enough to make any meaningful difference in your diet. So while brown sugar may seem more natural or wholesome, it's still sugar, and nutritionally it's almost identical to white sugar. The choice between them should be about flavor, texture, and personal preference, not health benefits. Specialty brown sugars, Muscovado, turbinado, and more. Beyond the standard light and dark brown sugar, there are also specialty brown sugars with unique characteristics. For example, Muscovado sugar is a type of unrefined brown sugar with a very high molasses content. It's sticky, dark, and bold, often used in specialty desserts or artisan baking. Then there's turbinado or demerara sugar. Sometimes mistaken for brown sugar, these are raw cane sugars with large golden crystals and just a bit of molasses. They aren't as moist or rich as typical brown sugar, but add a nice crunch and mild flavor when sprinkled on baked goods or used in coffee. Here's fun fact: molasses used to be trash, something you might not expect. Molasses was once considered a waste product. Back in the early days of sugar refining, molasses was often dumped or fed to livestock. But people eventually realized its flavor potential, not to mention its role in fermenting rum. Now it's an essential ingredient in everything from brown sugar to barbecue sauce. It's a great example of how food waste can evolve into culinary treasure. So the next time you sprinkle brown sugar on your oatmeal or mix it into a cookie recipe, you'll know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. It's not magic and it's not trickery, it's sugar science. Whether it's made naturally or by adding molasses back in, brown sugar is the result of a sweet, sticky relationship between sugar and its flavorful byproduct. And now you're in on the secret. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.